Welcome to
Brutal.
the MMA podcast.
How's everyone doing today? Caitlin?
Caitlin's
Charles?
good. I am very tired, but I'm good.
Gabe? Wants to kill him.
Gabe.
No, we're not doing this
Wait,
today. We're not doing this today.
no.
I'm so joyful.
He's so happy.
So gleeful.
Yeah.
I love our UFC judges. Yeah! Okay. All right. So let's jump right into this. We're going to start off with this most recent card that just happened. I believe this is UFC Vegas, like 4170 something. I have no idea what the number is, but it was a pretty amazing start. All the prelims were finishes. Really enjoyed watching them by myself in my room. And I did watch the Terrence McKinney and JP Buys fight. JP Buys. I feel so bad for this man. We're just going to run through Damon Blackshear real quick. That sounded... Pause. We're not going to run through Damon Blackshear. Okay. Damon Blackshear, he's been doing really well recently. In his fight before last fight, he had a TKO finish. But this fight, he started off with a really incredible twister. So third twister in UFC history. The only two people to get it before him were Bryce Mitchell and TKZ, the Korean Zombie.
That is impressive. Yeah, and I'm curious. So a twister is basically where you just grab their lower body and then you
lock up your lower bodies with here, I'll show people. You lock it up with a triangle like this, and then from there you pull your fucking head and spine the opposite direction.
Okay.
So it just imagine you ever get a chiropractic adjustment?
Yeah.
And they grab your arms like this and they twist it one way. So now imagine the good part of feeling that, right? It's usually intense, for a little bit. Now imagine them doing that, and then they just they have someone hold one side and they just start pushing the other way with the grown force of a absolutely jacked UFC fighter. That's what it feels like.
That's okay.
So it's extremely painful.
That's hard
and you
to
can
do,
definitely
right?
injure a lot of stuff, probably tear a lot of stuff too. It's a really hard submission to pull off, but when you get it, it's very satisfying. I only saw it first when I watched Bryce Mitchell do it, and then from there I saw the repeat of the Korean Zombie doing it. And the Korean Zombie is still fighting. He's fighting Max Holloway in this, not this next event, but I believe the event after that. So I'm excited for that as well.
No, that'll be a good fight. I'm excited for that.
We're going to move on to the top of the prelims, which was not JP Buys. It was the one straight before it. Terrence McKinney, T-Rex. He went out there, did his business, absolutely dominated from bell to end. I mean, it was really impressive. I mean, that's what it's what Terrence McKinney does.
We'll talk about him in a minute.
Yeah, we'll talk about JP Buys next. I'm just very fixated because I feel so bad for this man.
Terrence McKinney, yeah.
Yeah, Terrence McKinney's come a long way to get here. I'm really glad he did get to finish. It was really exciting. Body kicks, body punches, head hits. His right cross was so stinging, and it landed the whole time. And then he just flurried him on the fence to finish it, and it was so satisfying after seeing the fence grab that made him lose the last fight. So I'm really happy to see him back in and winning column.
I am too. That fence grab was obnoxious last time. In case you didn't see it, he basically was against, who was it? Forgot the name.
It's Sadikov.
Yeah,
who's honestly not that good.
But
he lost the first. Was it first round or first 2 rounds? I think it was the first round. The first round was all Terrence McKinney, and going into the second, it was all Terrence McKinney. He was landing more. He was more flush. And when he went for the takedown, and when he's deep in the double leg and then grabbed the fence. So it's really glad to see Terrence McKinney get a fair win in a way that he should. Moving on from that, we're going to talk about a really sad story. A really depressing story. So good for McGee. Marcus McGee beat JP Buys today. And I don't know how to talk about this.
It was a deserved win, so it's not anything against.
He knocked him out
against McGee.
And I really appreciate Marcus not going for another blow after absolutely rocking him when he was obviously unconscious.
I like seeing that. I like seeing the
control
of fighters, but
Marcus is a good guy and he deserves to be in the UFC. This is his second first round finish in the UFC since he got signed. So, which is 4 months ago. So he's active. He's getting finishes. I love seeing him in there. JP Buys is 0-4 in the UFC.
Probably
he's 0-2 against his coach and ex-wife.
Oh no!
Yeah.
I feel bad for the dude. He's lost everything recently, including all of his fights, and probably now I can imagine it's going to be
probably gonna get cut.
Yeah, his UFC contract is gonna.
I didn't think JP Buys was gonna win, to be completely honest with you, but I really wanted him to get a win just to say like, oh, I gotta win the UFC. It's like a really big accomplishment. He didn't get that tonight, and I don't see him going anywhere else other than the UFC's released list, to be honest. So it is what it is. From there, the main card started off really lackluster. A lot of decision wins. There was some weird stuff going on. So we're going to jump straight into Khalil Rountree's violent finish in the very first round. Just what I expected from Khalil Rountree. He fought a guy who was going down in weight because he was a fat fuck, and his name was Chris Daukaus. Chris Daukaus, I think he has a lot of hype behind him, and the reason for that being is when he joined the UFC, he went 3-0, all finishes, right? But the guys he was facing were really slow heavyweights that don't have hand speed. So he'd beat them out in the hand speed and knock them unconscious, right? I mean, it's kind of a given.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And then when he started to face competition with any sort of speed whatsoever, he couldn't compete. So, I mean, yeah, Khalil Rountree went in there, landed a big, giant overhand right cross, just like right down the pipe, landed it cleanly, and dropped Daukaus, and then went on the ground. The ground pound came. And the last punch that landed hit him, his elbow so hard, it went through, hit him in the face, and pushed him off to the side. I was like, golly. Khalil Rountree hits hard.
He was winding those punches up. It wasn't like,
Dude's made of concrete.
Most UFC fighters, when they go to punch, they kind of just, strike like normal. But he was taking his time with each punch and was just like just
generating power like a guy from Goku.
It's like that
Dragon Ball Z style.
The Nicolas Cage slap.
Yeah.
That was Roundtree with fucking
oh shit.
Chris.
That's what the hammer fist looked like when he threw it when he was on the ground, just straight from heaven. That was really entertaining. I'm glad to see Khalil Rountree win that. He said he wants a main event spot next. I'm not gonna tell him no. It'd be more entertaining than watching Luque fight, who we're gonna get into soon. Luque, not saying Luque's not entertaining, but I'm not saying Luque's really the most fun to watch when he's fighting another really good scrambler. So from there, we had Hakeem Dawodu and Cub Swanson. Killer God. Cub. I love watching Killer Cub fight. I love watching me and Hakeem Dawodu fight. But we're really going to give Cub Swanson a 29-28 unanimous. I think it's honestly disgusting.
Yeah.
Because the first two are so clearly for Hakeem. Even Cub Swanson, when asked, did you think you did enough to win the fight? He goes, no. I'll have to rewatch it, but I don't think I did. And that's sad. The commentators said Hakeem won it. I gave the first two to Hakeem, and then I thought the third one was really close, and I was leaning towards Cub, but you still could have given it to Hakeem. Yeah, but there's no way you give the first two to Cub.
Yeah, and I literally said Hakeem decision, and then when it came to it, I was like, all right, cool. I got it in the bag.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, not at all.
All of a sudden, Cub, I was baffled. I was absolutely baffled, yeah.
You doing sign language over there? We got the producer behind the camera just like... Are you stimming or
signs behind the camera?
Oh, those gang signs? Go Rit. No. I just want to say, I'm sorry, Hakeem Dawodu. You deserve the win. Everyone thinks you deserve the win. I saw comments saying, oh, Cobb got the second round because of the flurry at the end. But you don't judge a round off of 4 minutes and 55 seconds of you getting outstricken to land one combo that looked decent and didn't even wobble the opponent.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know what's up with people believing that a flurry at the end of a round, after getting pieced up for an entire round, getting kneed in the body, elbows landing on your fucking dome, like now they win the round. That's not how that works.
It's a trend. It's a trend I've noticed. It's happened the last few times. I mean, we had one a few weeks ago. I can't remember exactly who, but it was the same exact situation. It was just first round was one fighter, third round was the other, and then second round, we were sitting there and looking at it, and it was one fighter dominating the entire fucking round, and then all of a sudden, right at the end, you get 30 seconds, maybe of, actual domination back.
Yeah,
flurry, and they say, "Oh no, that's his round." No,
because how you end the round is how the round goes. So, it's a stupid phrasing. It doesn't make sense to the judges, and it shouldn't make sense to the judges. But that's how some people look at it. I guess it's how some judges look at it too.
Yeah,
but it's a really ridiculous way.
By then, all you have to do is you just go into this fight, and if you
You
can
save all your
sit
energy
there,
for the last
yeah,
end of
if
the
you
round
can
and you
sit there and
flurry.
survive and just basically defend and clinch and just keep them close and not really do anything, like if you can just do that for 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes, and then right at the end you can just use all your energy at once and win the round, it just doesn't make any sense.
It
And that's
doesn't.
where you get these decisions that just are stupid.
It just
So
don't make sense.
yeah, it was with this
They have no
decision
place
that
being in like as a decision.
yeah.
And then you go to the main event, which I had every round for Luke. I mean, I think round 3 was close enough to maybe lean RDA. And then 2 judges did 48-47, and 1 judge gave it correctly 49-46 for Luke. I'm glad to see Luke get the win. A lot of offensive wrestling for Luke. I'm glad to see him go 25 minutes without getting knocked unconscious, because in the last fight with Jeff Neal, he really didn't hang in there like he used to. And he had a brain hemorrhaging from that fight. So I'm glad to see him back in there. It wasn't the most entertaining of fights. There were some good jiu-jitsu scrambles. There was something to look at, but a lot of holding.
Yeah.
I want to see more activity from Luke in the future. Just, let his hands go a little bit more, because when he lands, it's pretty flush. You saw the head kicks.
Yeah, no,
You
he
saw
was doing pretty well,
his jab was really solid tonight. He would rock RDA's head back like every time, just snap back, snap back, snap back.
and yeah, I mean, he was doing well. Yeah, I agree. He was kind of spending a lot of his time just clinching, holding close, not really doing anything entertaining, and really not putting out as much. So
Yeah.
I feel like it was kind of. I mean, I thought Luke was gonna win anyways, but I don't know. I thought it was gonna be at least like a knockout or something.
Yeah. From there, we're going to move on to UFC 292. Quite a dilapidated UFC event. It's been really drained out because as of just today, Cody Garbrandt had his fight canceled. So Mario Batista is now looking for a replacement. And Ian Gary had his fight canceled with Jeff Neal, which is going to be my fight of the night, personally. Jeff Neal pulled out due to some sort of injury. Ian Gary has a replacement opponent, but it's Neil Magny. He's going to knock him out in the first round, probably. Neil
Really?
Magny's a staple of welterweight division. He has the most welterweight fights and most welterweight wins as well in the UFC history. But Ian Gary's different beast. You saw his head kick knockout against Danny Rodriguez.
I'd love to see Ian Gary win.
He will.
You know.
He will. It'll be
Yeah.
quite clear. And I really wanted to see Ian Gary versus Jeff Neal. That would have been a much better matchup, and it would have actually brought something to this UFC card that's really lacking now. And, I mean, watching Mario Batista and Cody Garbrandt strike it out would have been really entertaining too. But, as it goes, stuff gets canceled.
Yeah,
Shit
I mean,
happens.
as of right now, I think this is the first card. I think this is the first card in a while that's showing only 4 fights. As of right now, this could change obviously by next week. but
Hopefully, Mario Batista gets a replacement.
yeah, if we get like usually it's 5, but that would kind of suck. I mean, we'll talk.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it.
To start off the UFC 292 event, they have a tough fight between Kurt Halabaugh and Austin Hubbard. Kurt Halabaugh just came off a crazy finish where he was pushing the pace. One of the best slugfests I've ever seen in my life. And I'm really happy to see he won his fight, and now he's going to be competing in the UFC for a UFC contract. So whoever wins this fight gets a UFC contract. And they're
That's good to
fighting on the
hear.
big stage for it. It's to start off the prelims. So I'll be watching that. Then you got RoboCop, one of the best jiu-jitsu artists out there, who looks like a bodybuilder and punches like a mule. I mean, his last fight out, he got starched, I believe. And that was like the first time I've seen Greg Rodriguez not have a close fight. But everyone else before that, he absolutely bodied. So I think he'll get back in here with another win. I don't care who he's fighting. It doesn't matter. Greg Rodriguez is so dominant on the floor and so dominant with the hands. I mean, the best chance of him losing is getting caught by a straight punch, is what happened in his last fight. Got hit by overhand right, put him away. But Greg Rodriguez is so skilled that I don't see it affects him too much with this loss. So
Yeah, makes sense.
excited to see him up on this card, and then we'll move on to the main card from there. Oh, want to shout out Chris Weidman, his first fight in like 2.5 years after breaking his leg on Anderson Silva. Oh, no. Anderson Silva broke his leg on Chris Weidman, and then Chris Weidman broke his leg on Uriah Hall. So,
Interesting.
yeah,
So
it was
he's
one
got
of the
a
ones
taste
where
of
it
his own
snapped in the middle of the shin.
Ooh.
Where you watch, he stepped back on it. It looked like a spaghetti string he was stepping on, not a leg.
It's like like McGregor kind of thing.
No, way worse.
Really?
No, it's in the middle of his shin. McGregor's down
Yeah,
here.
yeah, you're
It
right.
was up here.
Ooh.
So when he stepped back on it, you could see it all just crumble because there was no foundation to his leg.
Caitlin is having a fun
Yeah, she had a
time while
fit
we
over there.
describe it.
She doesn't
L.
like that. L.
L.
That's one of my favorite Dana White posts of all time. Marlon Vera, Pedro Munoz stuff the main card. That's a main card starter. That's crazy because Marlon Vera's been in like 4 main events, and that's the way to start the main card. That's crazy. I think Marlon Vera gets it done. He's more crisp. He's more clean. He's more experienced. Pedro Munoz has really good fast hands, but I don't see anyone beating Marlon Vera on the feet unless Marlon Vera starts slow, which he has a very big tendency to do very consistently. So I really want to see him like improve from that. Then we have Ian Gary, Neil Magny. We both see how that going.
Yeah,
Ian
exactly.
Gary's going to dominate on the feet. He's 12-0, going against a guy who's 28-11. Big gap there. Ian Gary's got the hand speed, the leg speed. He'll probably knock him out in the first round. That's my prediction. Sets him up on the feet. Neil Magny will go for a takedown, but I think Ian Gary's going to be very privy to it. From there, Weili Zhang, Amanda Lemos. Weili Zhang's got the title for a reason, and everyone she's fought since Rose Namajunas knocked her out, even since the rematch, Weili Zhang dominates. So give me Weili Zhang by any way she wants. Just judo thrower, smash her brainstem in. I love Weili Zhang.
He's got a little
Caitlin's
bit of a
praying
UFC
that
crush.
Weili Zhang like dominates her. We got 2
What
thumbs
is up with
behind the
you
camera.
two and wanting fucking Dommy Mommy today?
I don't want Dommy Mommy. No, thank you. No, thank you, sir. That's real rancid. Caitlin's raising her hand. I'm putting my hand under the table because no, thank you. But
he does want a dominant Asian, basically.
that's not what I want. That's propaganda. I just said I have a crush on Weili Zhang.
Nuts.
I have a crush on Weili Zhang because she's so dominant and she makes the UFC so exciting. She's like the most entertaining woman fighter I've ever watched.
You might be right.
Yeah. End of sentence. Cool. Let's go to the main event. How do you see Aljamain Sterling and Sean O'Malley playing out?
I kind of want Sean O'Malley to win. I think it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting.
I really want Sean O'Malley to win. I think if he does win, it'll be in an emphatic fashion. And I think if he does win, he'll be more active than Aljamain Sterling. He'll feel more stands in Aljamain Sterling. He'll be better for the sport. I like Aljamain Sterling as a champion. I actually do not dislike him. He gets a lot of unnecessary hate, but I think Sean O'Malley. I met Sean O'Malley in real life. I'm a little bit biased.
Really?
I met him in real life at the airport going to Phoenix.
Really?
Yeah, maybe last year. Yeah, when I had my hair dyed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, like little lightning bolts all over my hair. It looked a little funky. But I enjoyed it, and I gave it to Sean O'Malley. Sean O'Malley had like cornrows like pulled back. He was right after his Piotr Jan fight. Remember the Piotr Jan fight?
Really? Yeah.
Where he smashed him.
Yeah,
that was the most recent fight. I saw him right after that fight. He still had busted up on his face.
That's cool.
Yeah, I went up to him. I shook his hand. I said, like, you're one of my favorite fighters, bro. It's really good to see your fight. He's like, thank you, brother. That's what he said. Thank you, brother. I was like, what the fuck? But it's really cool to see Sean O'Malley doing so well, and I'm glad he's finally got a title shot. I just really hope he proves himself. I hope Aljamain Sterling puts a hand on the floor, and as soon as he takes it off, gets kneed in the fucking brainstem by Sean O'Malley. Just as karma for the Oscar performance that we saw against Piotr Jan.
Fair.
I think with that, we'll end the podcast. Starting to get a little bit dark out. We started this one a little bit late.
Yeah, we're a little bit shorter this time, but yeah, we'll be back next week, and hopefully it's a
be back next week, and hopefully this event's more entertaining than we'll think.
Yeah.
Hopefully Mario Batista gets a replacement.
I do gotta say, it was surprising to me this time when it was literally like the prelims were the most entertaining part of this card.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
by far every
Which
time
is
was a
totally
finish.
weird.
It was
totally
exciting.
different.
And the women really brought it. I gotta say, the women absolutely brought it.
agree.
Every single woman fight was entertaining. I was absolutely impressed by every woman that won. It was really exciting. Sometimes you do see grinding out decisions. I think the men gotta show up better at this next event.
Yeah, Lucindo.
We gotta prove we're
say.
superior. What? Huh? Say what?
Pause.
Y'all have a good day.
Have a good one.